I will entertain a motion to convene as the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are convened. Do we still have Mr. Vlasic on?
Are you here, Mark?
Yes, you hear me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get to item number 2, the zoning items, just indicate for anybody online, we won't really have public input or discussion until we get down to public comments, but you can make a comment online by typing it into your chat. We won't look at it until we're to the public comment toward the end of the agenda, but we will look at it at that point, so feel free to do so.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
could you just also point out that Mr. Vlasic is joining the meeting electronically?
Yes. So Mark Vlasic, who is the city planner, is not present personally, but he is present virtually and joining the meeting in that way for anybody who is online. Okay, item number 2, zoning items. Discussion on accessory building and ADU building setbacks. We'll have Mr. Vlasic address that first, then we can have a discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just briefly, this was an item that we discussed last meeting. The new accessory dwelling unit ordinance allows the detached accessory dwelling units, and the current setback requirements they defer to the accessory dwelling requirements, which allow such structures to be within 1 foot of the property line. We have since found that for an occupied building in particular, and probably for maybe all accessory buildings, like we just heard, that the requirement is 5 feet from the property line, which in effect results in 10 feet between any structures. Without that, it would require some firewall requirements that apparently are can be cost prohibitive. So at our last meeting, it was felt by the Planning Commission that perhaps this was a bit onerous and that sheds and garages should not be treated in the same way as an occupied accessory dwelling unit, and it's requested that rather than deferring to the requirements for setbacks for accessory buildings, we would create our own, which address the 5-foot requirement for accessory dwelling units only. That's what you have before you this evening. We just did hear from the building official, and he made an argument why he believes all accessory buildings should be included under this requirement. So I think with that gives you a background and what we've presented this evening, and hopefully that I would assume we're going to have some discussion about this now. Thank you.
So I just want to be clear first. What's before us is really setbacks on accessory dwelling units, ADUs, and the current ordinance may address other accessory buildings, sheds and garages and so forth, but we're not doing anything with that right now.
Well, yes, and I would like to clarify, when we brought this before you last month, we made what we recommended as the zoning change was for all accessory buildings. So we were then directed to only apply it to accessory dwelling units. So we made the change directly in this accessory dwelling unit code. So there was no changes to the accessory
Buildings.
Yeah.
Buildings.
accessory building requirements. But that's what we presented last week. So if you after your discussions, you choose to go one way or the other, it would be relatively easy for us to do, whatever you want us to do.
And-
If you want us to keep it in the format that we have now, or if you want us to expand it to all accessory buildings and ADUs, we basically would go back to what we presented last week.
And we just wanted the building official to have his 2 cents worth, so you knew where he
Exactly.
stood, so.
Right. Okay,
Thank you.
discussion on this item.
I think Mark has done a really good job at adjusting it to just focus on accessory dwelling units. And I'm happy with the way this would be written to turn this into an ordinance this way.
I agree. I agree as well.
I'll make a motion then that we
That's
forward a positive recommendation to the city council that they approve the,
So, sorry,
oh, sorry.
we still have to have a public hearing, so that's what we should do
Okay.
next.
Then I would move that we have a public hearing on this item at our next meeting or whenever staff can accommodate that.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, we have a motion to set this for public hearing that has been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That's unanimous, so we'll set that for public hearing at our next meeting. Okay, on the agenda, item number 3, special items. First thing is nomination and election of a planning commission vice chair. I was the vice chair. I am now the chair just because by operation of law, apparently by the rules. So that leaves a position open for vice chair, so I will accept nominations.
I would nominate Commissioner Dredge. It's always been here, doesn't Commissioner Dredge? So I'm not mistaken. He sits next to you, right, Commissioner Bruder?
Normally
He
is.
usually sits
Yes.
between you and, okay, so that would be my nomination. If you want to have a reason why, it's because he's a nice, quiet person. He does know how, if you've ever heard him speak, though, he's a very good, eloquent speaker, and, which he does often speak, but not so much in this meeting. But we need some people in this meeting to make good motions. And so I like when Commissioner Mitzel makes good motions and Commissioner Bruder. So that's why I like Commissioner Dredge to be,
Sorry.
what are we, what could be the, is that too loud or what?
It's me, it's my computer.
Anyway, that's why I would be proposing that Commissioner Dredge could be a good vice chair. He's usually always here, and he can lead the meeting and gives all of you opportunities to make motions good.
I will second that motion.
Mr. Chair, I was just wondering if you're okay. I looked at the agenda. I'm wondering if we can dismiss Mr. Vlasic, so I don't see that we need his expertise on for the rest of the meeting.
Actually, the thought occurred to me as well. I don't know that we need to have him hanging on for all this time, so.
Do we need to motion that?
No, I don't
Okay.
I think it's the prerogative of our chair. so-
Have a good evening, Mark. We're, no sense having you hang around.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah,
We'll
Good
see you
night.
next month.
okay,
Bye.
good night.
I'd move that we close nominations. And have a vote.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. On the motion to close nominations, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And on the motion to appoint Stephen Dredge as the vice chair, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That carries. I'm sure he's thrilled.
Or he
Okay.
will be.
Or he will be when he finds out. Okay, item 3B, open and public meetings training. We are required to do this on an annual basis, I think. Lisa included training in the packet, if you've had a chance to read through that. You have to sign an affirmation that you did so, or you can watch a video. Is there anything else that you need to address on that item, Lisa?
I don't have anything. Did anybody have questions? If you do, we'll have Commissioner Mills answer.
I was curious, do they ever actually go into a closed? Do you ever have closed
Yes.
meetings?
The city council does it often. I've seen it once with the planning commission.
Yeah, I was
So-
just curious.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And probably won't anymore, though,
Yeah, it's
the
probably,
way things are set up.
we hope not.
We won't
I've
do
seen
that
it,
anymore.
I've seen it in the planning commission to discuss the sale of land or something like that,
Yeah.
but otherwise. So, okay. Item 4, approval of minutes of the previous meeting. I'll entertain a motion unless there's corrections or additions.
I'll make a motion, to approve the minutes for December 14th, 2023.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Just for anybody's benefit who is online, we have about 3 more minutes of discussion here, so if you want to make a comment, now is the time to do it. And we'll hold that open for a couple of minutes to see that you can have a chance to do that. So, item 5, staff reports. The item listed is a drive-through to be located at 5590 Harrison Boulevard. Lisa?
So this was a car wash many years ago, and the car wash has since been demolished, and now we have this proposal for a drive-through at this location. There has been an issue with this piece of land in that it has an easement going across the front of it. I believe it's a perpetual easement for whatever is on the property where Starbucks is located now, and it's so that people can go across there and access Starbucks, go across this property to access Starbucks. I think long ago, when Harrison Boulevard was probably not quite so busy, that made sense because people could take a left-hand turn and go onto that property. But anymore, I don't think it's so possible. But nevertheless, the easement remains, and UDOT, it's up to them. You know, accesses are hard to come by, so I don't think this is going to go anywhere. That all being said, the applicant did apply for an exception and was granted one. The attorney recommended that we do grant this exception, otherwise it would not allow the owner to use the property as, it would take away his right to use the property as he saw fit. So, there's some pictures. Does anybody have questions? My understanding, like I said, is they're still looking for a tenant, but they're going to build it when they find one.
So who owns the easement? Is it a city easement?
It's not a city easement. I don't know who owns the easement. It doesn't state on the plat, and I just know that it shows on the plat, and I haven't dug into that.
That's more curiosity than
Yeah.
anything. So if I understand, we're granting them an exception to build on the easement.
It's probably already been done by staff.
Sorry, no, we're not, I didn't explain that. Our code requires that the building be built up towards the street. The setback has to be between 0 and I want to say 15 feet from the property line, but that would put them in the easement. And so they have to build behind the easement to keep the terms of the easement. So the exception is to build in that, build to zone 0 to 15 feet.
Oh, okay. And I think Commissioner Pruis is right. Staff's already approved this. You're just reporting on it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I was hoping it was Nelson's Frozen Custard, because
They turned us down.
after they backed out last,
Yeah, I know.
but, okay. Any other reports from staff?
We talked about the ADU ordinance last time, and the council, no, that wasn't a land use, so, no, I think that's everything.
Okay. Item 6, other business. Commissioners, any other business you want brought before the commission?
I have some business. I just wanted to announce that I probably will be resigning after 25 years. So I hope that doesn't leave, I don't think it'll leave anyone in a lurch. We've got to Eric Lee now called, so we should have,
So when are you making it
Effective.
probably
official?
after this meeting.
Okay.
Don't you think? That'll be enough for Mayor Porter to find someone? He's always finding people in 1 month's time. Would you like it for after next meeting? Would that be easier?
It's up to you. You can choose.
Well, we're in a pretty good lurch today, but this is pretty rare to just have 4. We would never be in just 4. I mean, George Goodell appointed me back in 1998, like October 1998, and all subsequent mayors, Mayor Garwood, Mayor Minster, Mayor Porter's, always asked me to please be on the commission again and again and again, but I think 25 years is a long time. There's nobody else that's ever been on the commission for
don't think
25
so.
years.
Mayor or council member, I think you hold the record.
Mostly just 5 years. That's it. So it's been very awesome. We've seen a lot of change in this city, tremendous change. And so that's part of planning, is being able to roll with change and hopefully get everybody in the city on board with change. That it'll be a good arrangement, and hopefully it has been, I think it's been better for our city. The only recommendation I would make to the Planning Commission is I'd like to see the Planning Commission be able to take back one portion of their, we've lost a lot of our powers, but the one portion is that to be able to, when there's small changes like you just heard today in staff report, I think that it would be wise for those types of special situations to come to the Planning Commission to let us hear. There's property owners and things there that might have been concerned about what happened in that situation, and I think that's a little more public. Right now, these kind of changes, no one ever hears about it, and no one has an opportunity to speak about it. And the commission is a body, it was designed ages ago, clear in whenever our city started in 26, to be able to be a forum where when there's items that might change, that might impact people's private property, everyone can hear about it and have an opportunity to speak about it. And we've kind of, the staff is to make things more fluid and streamlined, and even the legislature's trying to help us say, you know what, when something's been applied for and it meets all the requirements, it should just go to staff, and I'm in agreement. And Commissioner Mills explained it last month really well again. If everything's right and all the, I's are dotted and T's are crossed, it doesn't need to come before us, and it's meeting the ordinance the way it is. But there's a lot of special things that happen that really don't 100% meet the ordinance, and to just let our staff just do it, I don't know that that's 100% right. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being able to take that back, that portion of our power back, so you can hear it at least. And that would give people from the community, there might be some property owners on the sides of this property that might want to hear about that, or at least be aware of it. So that's my only recommendation as a planning commissioner, I think. Lisa, we know that Lisa is the most awesome staff member on the planet. Our city is so lucky to have her. Anyone knows that. That is just really cool. So you've really stepped up this job from our old recorders that we had that just took notes to someone that can be a player, a lead player, and help us
Thank you.
do a good job and a professional job here. That's awesome.
I'm feeling.
But anyway, it's been an awesome time, really has.
Well, thank you. I have absolutely no authority, but I would suggest, Jamie, that Commissioner Pruitt still be invited to the March awards dinner or whatever, because 25 years, I mean.
Thank you.
Thanks. Did we have any public comment? Okay.
Is it possible to name a microphone like the Steve Pruitt Memorial Microphone?
That's a great idea.
It's been fun.
Okay.
I've got to be the chairman 2 times. I mean, it's been good.
Good.
Vice chair, yep, it's been awesome.
All right. Given that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nobody.